Hello, today I'm going to be showing you how to properly use Google Sites. So before we drift off into any of these other options, we're going to explore the blank canvas option, or more like a blank website option. And I feel afterwards you won't even really need to take any of these into considerations, but it's just there for you just in case if you don't feel as confident or you're just not really sure how you feel your website should be structured. You can go ahead and click on one of these, and all you can do is just edit out what's on there and just replace it with your information. However, I'm going to show you guys how to make your own websites from scratch. So we're going to click on the blank. It's going to load, and then we're going to be greeted with a blank template. And right off the bat, we're going to be put on what is gonna essentially be our home page. So let's start with editing our home page before we get into any of these other options. So to keep it relatively simple for right now, we're just gonna title this home page. However, I challenge you guys to come up with something a little more creative than just simply titling it home page. And the reason because is that you essentially want to captivate your audience. You want them to be hooked into your website and what the content it has to offer. So I generally recommend that you make your homepage as captivating as possible. That way you can show your audience why they should be invested. So on your homepage, you'll have a few little assortments of things to choose from and edit. Right up on top here, you can actually list your website name. So for now, we're just going to call this website.com. And it has a neat little feature where you can add a logo. So you can add this off your own computer hard drive, or you can select one based off of Google. However, I recommend that if you are creating a professional website or even just a portfolio, I recommend uploading your own logo, making one. It looks really nice and creates a nice little dynamic feel. So moving on, we'll go over to the header type. So this is all up to you guys. You're free to choose whatever you desire. So your homepage can have a title only, a banner, a large banner, or a cover. However, I personally like a banner. I think it's the right ratio. And you can also head over here and you can change this background banner to either one of your own photos or something that Google has to offer. For now, we're going to choose what Google has to offer. I'm going to pick this one. This picture looks very captivating, and I feel it would definitely catch people's attention. Now, if you notice down here, what it did was let's see if we can get it to highlight, is that it adjusted the picture so that you're able to read the text better. And I think that's a neat little feature Google automatically does for you. So moving on, we're going to go over to themes. Now, if you're familiar with Google slideshow or presentation, Google Sites is very, very similar to this. However, unlike Google Sites, Google presentation actually gives you a lot more variety of themes to choose from. And the sad part about Google Sites is that they only give you about 8 as opposed to 20. However, these are very nice themes, and we'll go through these really fast. I always liked Impression. And you can always change the color of it. They have presets, or you can customize your own, which is a very nice little feature. So moving on, this is one of the key essential parts to making a website, is that you have to have more pages than this a home, because you can't just put all your information on your home screen. That's going to look a little silly and ridiculous. So we're going to add a new page. We'll call this new page for at the moment. So once when you make your new page, you can start adding content or whatnot. And the cool thing is you can add as many pages as you like. So we're just going to leave these as untitled because this is a demonstration. And notice that your top-down menu gets more and more full. However, I recommend that you at least stick to a maximum limit of 5, if not 6. Don't go higher, or else it's going to look a little messy and cluttered. However, a neat little feature about this is that you can create subpages. Okay, so let's say we're making a page. So we're going to call this photos. Let's say it's a portfolio of sorts for your photography. So you're going to list this page as new photos or photo. And then what you're going to do is you're going to add a subpage. And let's call this depth. And let's add one more subpage. And let's call this, I don't know, maybe shadow. So what's really neat about this feature is that you can, rather than stuffing everything into one page, you can create subpages to give more variety and more dynamic and more, I would say, a neat feel to your website. So how it works is when you come up here, you hover over and you see that there's a down arrow and it drops down another little mini menu, and you have access to these new subpages. So it's very nice, and it's a really neat feature that overall makes your website well-rounded and really neat and organized. So now moving over to the last thing we'll be covering is the insert. So we're just going to click on photo for right now. So the last feature is the insert section that usually scares people when they first come into Google sites because of how long and full of content it is. However, don't be afraid. This is relatively easy, simple, and we'll get right into it right now. So let's start off with layouts. So what these are is these are blank presets that allow you to essentially fill in content if you're not sure how you want to start. So let me give you an example. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on one, and let's say if we were making this for a photography website, we would add our picture right here. We would maybe put the title and the description of it. I'm just going to leave it as this because I'm too lazy to type that. What's really neat is, let's say we choose this one and, well, we don't like this big block photo right here. Well, no problem. All we're going to do is we're going to click on it. We're going to hit the trash can. And let's say you want to add in a text box. Well, we're going to click on the text box. Sadly, you can't just drag it in like the others. And what you're going to do is you can, once when you get it down into your actual website, you can drag it up, put it up here, and you could say, I like these two photos. I don't know, because, oh, well, I forgot photos, but you get the gist. You know, ... And that's essentially what these layouts do for you, is that they kind of help guide you if you're not sure how you want to lay out everything. And they're actually really useful, and they're pretty neat and nice. And remember, you can always customize your options when you highlight. It's just like Google slideshow or docs. You can center this, you can italicize, you can bold, you can make this a title, a heading, a subheading. You know, you can do anything you'd like with it. This is your website, so you're free to do whatever you like. Also, because this is powered by Google, a neat thing is you can go right into your Google Drive and you could choose documents. There I am. And you could choose a document. So let's say you want to add in your resume because you wanted to submit this to a company. Well, let's say this is our resume. We can add this in. And you can add in your documents and information about yourself, which is a really nice feature. The last thing I felt was worth mentioning is that we have all these nice little options like collapsible text, which we click on that. What we can do is we can put a title. And what it does is whenever you hover over it, it gives you more context of what it is. You have dividers to split everything up, placeholders, which is just blank space. So let me just give you an example. So let's say you don't want your title too high up. No, it didn't. There you go. You don't want this too high up. You could put a placeholder, and what it does is it just gives you more blank space to work with. You can add in YouTube links, which is very nice, an image carousel. So it's pretty much a gallery, a table of contents, and a button. And I want to go more into the button feature because I think the button is very underrated. So let's click the button, and let's say that we're going to call this photos because we're going to link this to another page. So let's say that there's a lot of information on the slide, and you don't want your readers to go all the way back up because it's a hassle. What you do is you link your tab or your button at the bottom of the page, so that way when they're done reading it, they can click on this and it'll take them right to the next slide, or in this case, page. So if we go to preview real quick, we can see that when we click on the photos, it takes us right to the photo, which is a very, very nice feature to have on your website. So that will be all for the basic tutorial, and I hope you guys got a lot of information out of this. Please contact me if you have any questions. Thank you.